Describe a teacher who has influenced you in your education. You should say where you met him or her, what subject he taught, what was special about him or her. Sample answer for this cue card is I consider myself very lucky to get several very good teachers throughout my academic years. Among them, I would like to talk about Mr. Anand Gamtu, who was an extraordinary teacher, a really good mentor, and who has strong influence on my education. I met Mr. Gamtu when I was in class 10th, and he was our English teacher. Initially, we thought that he would be a moody teacher and we would have to be very polite in front of him. This impression came mostly because of his serious face and dressy clothes. But soon we found that he was a friendly person and taught us very well. He never made things complicated and tried over and over again to explain something to us. He had a very unique way of teaching. He would always start with an interesting story, and later we would find that he would relate English grammar and language to that story. Thus, everything we learned from him was interesting, and that's why we remember most of the grammatical points and structure drills of English that he taught us. I would thankfully say that he has a great influence on my education because he often taught me personally, lovingly, practically, and effectively as I was his favorite student. Frankly and proudly speaking, that I can speak, read, and write English so well because of him only. He had a great personality and led an exemplary life. He behaved very politely with all and never discriminated. He used to tell us lots of examples and stories to make the subject and topic interesting. I have always been good at English, and that's mainly because of Mr. Gamtu, who played a major role in making the subject interesting to me. Before I learned English from Mr. Gamtu, my impression of English was not that good, and I considered English to be a very difficult and interesting subject. But he taught me the fundamental of English grammar so practically and nicely that his way of teaching changed my way of thinking about English, and later on English became my favorite subject.